What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, with this video, we're going to be jumping into Batman the Detective, issue number 6. This will be the finale issue. This will be bringing the detective to a close. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with this line, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with Batman and Equilibrium. Now, what we have seen throughout this line is a group known as Equilibrium, being led by the individual known as Equilibrium, trained by Henry Ducard, the same individual that trained Batman to be the greatest detective. And after much trauma happened in Equilibrium's life, she decided to go back and rectify every life that Batman has ever saved. And so with Batman trying to figure out her last move, with her out on the loose, with the city of London at stake, time is running out. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into the last issue of Batman the Detective, we are picking up with Equilibrium breaking into the prison where all of her guys are at. Charlotte came in quick, she came in fast, and she hit them hard. With Ducard training her exceptionally well, she was able to blow through all of the guards and free all of her men. Now, all of these guys, all of them, were hired mercenaries. All except for one of them, that being Sullivan. Now, the idea is that Sullivan was supposed to be left here, with his father being a crime lord. Batman is one who helped put him away. But Equilibrium, she lets Sullivan know that you helped get me to this place. You helped get all of us here. You helped build Equilibrium. It is only right that you be by my side when we bring it all down. It's only right that you be there for the very end. Now, picking up with Batman, Squire, and Henry Ducard. They are currently flying over the English Channel, and Henry is really just letting Bruce Wayne know that she was always a better student than him. And one reason is she was always willing to bring friends. She was always willing to work in a group, something Batman has never been too fond of. Even though he's created his Bat family, he's created this network in Europe known as the Alliance of the Bat. At the end of the day, he truly does work alone in most situations, telling him that it shows real personal growth that he invited Henry onto this. Batman, of course, saying that he's merely an asset and that is the only reason he is here. But Batman sends out a signal to the Alliance of the Bat, letting them all know that London is in immediate danger. Now, the thing Batman asks from everybody, from the entire Alliance of the Bat, is he needs complete honesty right now. Has anything gone missing? Have they sold anything to shady individuals? If any of their governments has done anything and possibly sold this to Equilibrium, he needs to know. And this is when the US military, of course, comes in and lets him know on a private channel that they sold something to somebody. And as soon as they sold it, they went missing. Now, this is most likely what happened. This is most likely the option that they're gonna go with, believing that whatever was bought from the US military is going to be used for ill intentions. And even Batman lets him know this is not a group that you should be selling to. And all he says is, I'm well aware of that, what can I do to help? As if that alleviates the entire problem. You just supplied a terrorist organization with weapons, and the only response is, I'm well aware of that. But what Batman really needs is all the makes, all the models of everything that was stolen, and he needs all of this information without alerting anybody inside the US military. And that's what brings our heroes to a London private airfield. With them making their landing in London, it is time to get to work. Now, Henry Ducard, he is going to go out and he's going to start hunting down Equilibrium, finding out where they are, where they're going to attack, and when this is going to be at. And so first things first, Batman and Squire, they head off to the Castle of the Night. Getting Squire home, Batman even says thank you for letting him use Squire, because if it weren't for Squire, there's a good possibility Batman could have ended up dead. But more than anything, Bruce Wayne knows exactly why Knight had took her under her wing, and that is because of her mother. Squire's mother was the smuggler in the warehouse 10 years ago, the one who went back into a burning building to save John Gallagher. Her name being Nikita Iluko. She ran into the fire to save someone, and she went to prison afterwards. Now, of course, she was obviously a smuggler. She did bad things, but at the end of the day, Knight feels heavily responsible for everything that transpired. And now she hasn't seen her daughter her entire life. And Knight, more than anything, not necessarily blames herself, but believes that their actions do have consequences, and that consequence is this little girl not growing up with a family, not growing up with a mother or father or anything else. But in the midst of this conversation, this is when his suitcase starts beeping. And that beep is an alert that they have to make their move. As they hop into the car and they make their way across the city, we get Ducard on the phone, him telling Batman that it is too late. Sullivan had called a family member and he told them to get out of London. The only reason he knows this is because a British tabloid has been keeping tabs on anyone related to Charlotte, anyone related to Sullivan, doing this in an attempt to get some kind of scoop on what is going on. And it traced all the way to Bankside Pier. And so whatever they're gonna do to the city, they're gonna be watching right in the middle of all of it. Now, right now, he is on the river on a ferry. He has taken down a couple of these Equilibrium guys, but he lets Batman know that this is no longer his game. With Equilibrium soldiers making their way towards him, with Sullivan on this ferry, he lets Bruce Wayne know that he's not getting out of this, saying that he might have had a chance if he hadn't taken so many freaking bullet holes over the last couple of days. But with the condition that he is currently in, there is no way in heck he could take on Sullivan. Batman telling him that they are on the way, that they are very close to his position, that he needs to hold on just for a little bit longer. And he tells him that he's not gonna make it, but he apologizes. He apologizes for helping make Equilibrium. Though Henry isn't necessarily responsible for this, he just helped train Charlotte to the best of her abilities. She took those talents and she went out and she did bad things with it. But he also trained Batman, and Batman has saved countless lives over the years. And so if you feel responsible for Equilibrium, then you are also responsible for every single life that I have ever saved. And so he tells Batman thank you, and he says goodbye, with Sullivan coming down, looking like a brute of a monster, getting ready to smash Henry's face in. This is where we see Batman drive straight off of the bridge, driving his Batmobile onto this ferry. It crashes down on the ground. Squire, Knight, and Batman all pile out of the vehicle, and the fight is on. Now our heroes, they start laying down some haymakers, putting these guys down into the dirt. It doesn't take long for them to make their way through all of these mercenaries. That is, until we have the arrival of Equilibrium, telling Batman that he can't save them. Because at the end of the day, London should not exist. You saved London one time, you saved this city, and because of that, the ripple effect that has happened since then has caused countless numbers of lives. But tonight, all of that ends. And as everyone looks up to the sky, this is where we see military drones, predator drones, unmanned vehicles loaded up with missiles. So many drones that it could level the entire city instantaneously. Sold to Equilibrium by the US government. An entire fleet of them. Ducard trying to tell her that she can't bring her family back, that this will not change anything. With him asking where the controls are so they can stop this, she lets them know that there are no controls. But Batman lets everybody know that there are over 50 drones. She can't control that alone. They are all pre-programmed, and then they were reprogrammed. They were reprogrammed by Oracle, because for once Batman listened to the advice of Henry Ducard. When Henry told him that Charlotte's biggest weapon was bringing in friends, that's exactly what Batman did. He brought in Nightwing and Oracle, and now all of these drones are all under the control of Batman. And Nightwing lets him know that we can do something really theatrical with all of these drones if you would like us to. You want us to write someone's name in the sky? Like, what do you want us to do here? And so with the drones being taken care of, Henry Ducard, he pulls up his pistol and he goes to end the mistake that he created so long ago. He goes to shoot Charlotte, only to have Batman stop him with a batarang. Now Henry says that she won't stop. She's going to murder the city no matter what. She gets away and she still will, asking Batman, will he really save one life and condemn millions more? And we see Equilibrium pick up the gun and she lets him know that it's true. But it's what Batman does. He saves lives no matter what the consequences. Because whatever happens next, she believes, is not his responsibility. Or at least that is how Batman has played it for so many years. Because he saved the Joker's life on countless occasions. And because of that, hundreds of people have died because he simply could not pull the trigger. There has been so much pain because of the interventions that he has done. Now, Squire chimes in and says that she has never been saved by Batman. But one thing he did just do, he stopped Ducard from shooting you. No matter what, he still cared about your life. And this is when Equilibrium, she realizes that Squire is right. Batman did just save her life. And so she takes that pistol, she puts it underneath her chin, and she unalives herself. With the bullet going off, Batman is able to stop the round with his freaking hand. Believing that she had just killed herself, that in fact did not happen. Batman was able to grab the bullet before it was able to enter her head. Screaming that he can't take this from her, he is not gonna let her kill herself. With Batman knocking her out, Ducard saying that that was a great move, but I am 90% sure that your hand right now is absolutely shattered into pieces. Because no matter how great your Kevlar gloves are, you just took a blast at point blank from a gun into your hand. Now Henry, he believes that Batman's going to try to arrest him because he did just try to murder this woman here, tried to murder Charlotte. But at the end of the day, Batman, he says no. Like, I'm not gonna arrest you, I'm gonna take her to jail, and I'm gonna make things right. I'm gonna go out and try to make the world a better place. And so Batman and Knight together, they used their influence, they used their lawyers, they used their money, and they got in touch with the parole board and got Squire's mother out on parole. Now the question is, why are you doing this? And at the end of the day, Batman has grown a little bit. He's learned a little bit. Because this is about equilibrium. It's about balance. It's about undoing the wrong things that he has done. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. No, I gotta say, I am thoroughly enjoying everything that happened in this line. I think it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a branch off from the regular Batman lines we get. And the idea the equilibrium was formed because of everything Batman has done, the ripple effect that that has caused and causing other people to die. It could be easy to point the finger when you lost your husband and child. And so while Batman this entire time never really looked at the aspect of him saving people could necessarily have a bad effect, it could have a negative outcome to it. But after all of this, that's exactly what he has learned. And doing things like getting Squire's mom out of prison are just the small little things that he can help do to fix the consequences of his actions. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.